What's up? This is Trey T, and today I'm going to be giving my prediction for the 2022 Denver Broncos. I, like many Denver Broncos fans, are excited and eager to see what the Broncos receivers can do with a talented and capable quarterback at the helm running the offense. So without further ado, let's jump right into the schedule. Yes, I am a Bronco fan. I have been a Bronco fan for almost 30 years, but I am very objective. I'm not going to be one of those people that comes out and say, oh, the Broncos going 17-0. Oh, the Broncos going 15-2. I got the Broncos losing a few games. I'm not that delusional to where I think the Broncos are going to win every single game. I got them losing. I have them with a couple of losses in the season based on how I feel they will compete against those teams during that game. Starting off in week 1 in Seattle, I feel like Russell Wilson will be very emotional going back to Seattle for the first time since being traded to Denver. So I don't think the Broncos offense will be on point how I feel it will be throughout the whole season. I still think they'll put up points, but I don't think they'll score like in the 30s. So I have the Broncos winning game 1, week 1 in Seattle, 24-13, going to 1-0. Going into week 2 versus the Texans, I think the Broncos win that one easily because I don't think the Texans are a very good team. Plus, they got the whole Deshaun Watson situation still hanging over their heads, and now they're getting sued, and they got to deal with all that. And plus, the Texans just not good. So I feel like I have the Broncos winning that game 31-10, moving on to 2-0 on the season. Week 3 versus San Francisco, I just don't have any faith in Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, I don't see it. I understand Jimmy Garoppolo has been to a Super Bowl, been to 2 NFC Championship games, but I feel like that was mostly based off the defense and him. Like, it seems like when it's time, the game is on the line, he always throws a crucial interception or turns the ball over or something. So, like, I know they got Deebo Samuel, and Brandon Ayuk, but the Broncos have weapons too, and they have a defense. So I feel like the Broncos defense will get all over Jimmy Garoppolo. I have the Broncos winning 23-17 versus the 49ers. I feel like week 4 will be the first real test for the Broncos going up against the Raiders. The Raiders, I don't know why the Broncos for some reason struggle against the Raiders. And now the Raiders have Devontae Adams, so we get to see if it was more Devontae Adams or if it was Aaron Rodgers. Because Derek Carr is going to do Derek Carr. But I actually have the Broncos losing week 4 in Las Vegas. It's going to be a close game, but I have the Broncos losing 27-23 versus the Raiders, going to 3-1 on the season. Going into week 5 versus Indianapolis, I feel like the Broncos, even though the Colts got Matt Ryan, I still think the Colts don't have enough offense to compete with the Broncos defense. And I feel like the Broncos will have enough offense to deal with the Colts defense. Even though the Colts do have a great offensive line, I still feel like the Broncos can get past that. So I have the Broncos beating the Colts 34-24, moving to 4-1 on the season. Going into week 6, you have another division rival with the Chargers. And I actually feel like the Chargers are going to be the toughest ones in the division for the Broncos over the Chiefs and the Raiders. Because the Chargers already had the offense. Other than the Broncos, I feel like the Chargers got better compared to the other division rivals. The Chargers already had weapons, and now they went on the defensive side and got Khalil Mack and J.C. Jackson and Bryce Callahan. So they gonna be tough to compete with offensively and defensively now. So I actually have the Broncos losing in Los Angeles to the Chargers 27-17 and moving to 4-2 on the season. Week 7 versus the Jets. The Jets, I feel, are no threat to the Broncos. Even though the Broncos did shut the Jets out last year, I don't think they'll do that this year. I think the Jets will score a couple of times, but I still got the Broncos winning 38-10 versus the Jets in Week 7, moving to 5-2. Same thing with the Jaguars. I don't think the Jaguars pose a threat to the Broncos. Broncos beat the Jets. I mean the Jaguars last year. I think they play them in London this year. So I feel like the Broncos are gonna blow the Jaguars out again. I got the Broncos winning 34-16 versus Jacksonville, moving on to 6-2 on the season. Week 9, the Broncos have their bye. Then Week 10, they play Tennessee. I don't believe in Ryan Tannehill. And remember, it was the Broncos who knocked Marcus Mariota out of the game because they didn't knock him out, but he was playing so bad against the Broncos defense that they replaced it with Ryan Tannehill a couple of years ago. So it's really the Broncos. Ryan Tannehill should be thanking the Broncos for allowing him to still be the quarterback for a starting quarterback in the NFL. But other than that, I just think you got to. AJ Brown is gone now too, so I just think all you got to do is stop Derrick Henry. So I think it'll be a close one, though. So I got the Broncos 27 and the Titans 21 in Week 10. And the Broncos end up going 7-2 on the season. Week 11 is redemption week. So the Raiders come to Denver. And I feel like the Broncos will get the Raiders this time and win 31-20 versus Las Vegas. Moving to 8-2 on the season, heading into Week 12. Week 12, I had the Broncos absolutely destroying the Panthers. The Panthers don't even know who their quarterback is. They don't know if they want Sam Darnold. They don't know if they want who was the dude they drafted? I don't even remember the dude. Matt Corral. I don't even know who the quarterback was that they drafted. But then they don't know if they want Baker Mayfield. So I just feel like, and then Christian McCaffrey, who knows, this is week 12, who even knows if Christian McCaffrey will be playing, because, Christian McCaffrey get hurt every single year, kind of like Saquon Barkley. So I just feel like the Panthers will be overwhelmed by the Broncos. I got the Broncos winning 41-10 versus Carolina, and moving on to 9-2 in the season. Week 13, I feel like the Broncos will get payback against the Ravens from the Ravens blowing them out last year, 23-7. I feel like the Broncos will, and then I'm still not sold on Lamar Jackson. The whole running thing, like that catches up. I feel like it's starting to catch up with him, especially in the playoffs. Like Lamar Jackson quietly is already 1-3 in the playoffs. You do all that running shit in the regular season, but once you get to the playoffs, the teams focus in on you and force you to have to throw the ball. And like other than Mark Andrews, who is Lamar Jackson going to throw the ball to? So I feel like the Broncos win that game 24-17 versus Baltimore and move to 10-2 on the season. Week 14 versus the Chiefs. I feel like the Chiefs losing Tyreek Hill will be very crucial to them. I do feel like the Broncos will. This is in Denver. I feel like the Broncos will score 30-some points on them, not blow them out, but win by a couple of touchdowns. So I have the Broncos winning 34-20 versus the Chiefs in Week 14, moving to 11-2 on the season. Basically the same thing. It's not the same what I said about Lamar Jackson, but I don't believe in Kyler Murray either. Going into Week 15 versus Arizona, like he's just so small and he get hit a lot and he gets injured a lot too. And I know they got AJ Green and DeAndre Hopkins and that ain't got Marquise Brown, but I just don't trust Kyler Murray. So I'm going to go the Broncos win 28-17 versus Arizona and move to 12-2 on the season. Week 16 versus the Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams. I do think it'll be a close game, but I have the Broncos losing to the Rams 27-23. But I do feel like that could be a Super Bowl matchup for the Broncos against the Rams in the Super Bowl. So the Broncos fall to the Rams 23-27 and go to 12-3 on the season. Week 17, the Broncos go to Kansas City. I feel like this time the Chiefs, it'll be a split. So basically, the Broncos split with all the division rivals. So I got the Chiefs winning this one 27-20, and the Broncos going to 12-4 on the season. And week 18 versus the Chargers, like I said, all the division Broncos split with all the division rivals. So this game is in Denver. I have the Broncos avenging against the Chargers, beating the Chargers 31-21, and finishing the season at 13 wins and 4 losses. My prediction for individual players, I don't think the philosophy should be let Russ cook, because I feel like the Broncos will have more success with a balanced offense. So I feel like we should utilize, even though we have a quarterback now and have the weapons receiving wise, I still feel like we should utilize Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams. So my predictions for the individual players, I feel like Russell Wilson will finish with a 65% completion rate, 4,500 passing yards, 38 touchdowns, and only 11 interceptions. I feel like Javonte Williams will get the more carries this year over Melvin Gordon, finishing with 878 yards, 7 touchdowns. I think he'll fumble like 3 times. Melvin Gordon, 145 carries, 650 yards, 5 touchdowns. He'll fumble 3 times. Cortland Sutton, I feel, will have around like 75 catches, 1,200 yards, like 11 touchdowns with like 3 drops. Tim Patrick, 68 catches, 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns, around 2 drops. Jerry Jeudy will have a breakout year. He'll have 65 catches for 1,150 yards, 9 touchdowns with 3 drops. Albert Okwuegbunam will have 45 catches, 475 yards, 4 touchdowns, about 4 drops. KJ Hamler, he'll get around 40 catches, 375 yards, 3 touchdowns, have like 2 drops. And Kendall Hinton, I really like Kendall Hinton. I feel like they did him dirty by throwing him into that Saints game at quarterback. But I feel like he's a damn good receiver. So I have him with about 25 catches, 155 yards, 2 touchdowns, and about 3 drops. So those are my predictions for the 2022 Denver Broncos. Let me know what yours are. Like the video. Don't like the video. Don't matter. Subscribe to the channel for more videos coming soon. Peace. Denver Broncos for life.